Welcome back, everybody, to the Jumping Flash playthrough. This is part 4. We continue on with World 5, the boss stage of the big city, I think I called it. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. So this is probably the weirdest boss in the game, I would imagine. Well, actually, I think there's one weirder than this, but this one's pretty strange, and he makes loud noises. So he looks like a bunch of different TVs all pulled together and able to take different shapes. But none of those shapes seem to be very potent against Robbit, who can just, well, jump on him. I mean, you know, that's okay. Oh, alright. You know, I assumed that was the end that the bombs were coming out of. And then I thought that I was gonna get shot at, but no. So this is like his main form. He's got like, it looks like a big Rubik's Cube, just with TVs. They are TVs. I mean, the Rubik's Cube is TV. What's this now? Oh my god. Oh no, what's happening? I don't even know what I'm getting hit by. I'm just kind of spamming him though. Alright. You know, I was just kind of down to, you know, who was going to do the most damage to who. And I had a huge lead on him. Alright. As we just kind of take like that portrait, right? Like at the very end, like the impactful portrait. It's like just before the end shows up or something, you know? Like Robbit's looking off into the distance. That's pretty cool. So that's it for World 5. And now we move on to World 6.
Take a good look. I knew this might happen, so I created this secret machine. Never underestimate the power of science.
Boy, I think Baron Aloha would fit in very well at Aperture Science, you know, because they like their science. And testing, you know, as long as he's doing lots of testing, then I'm sure he'll fit in. So we're on to the final world. It's World 6, and this is Stage 1. Now I remember this stage very well because this was like a really cool looking stage. You know, you're kind of like out in space, sort of. And you got like this huge multicolored base thing going on. I mean, this map is gigantic. And we got these guys. Oh yeah, so this level is basically made up of a lot of enemies that we ran into earlier on in the game. We saw like one of the fish. I can't remember if I shot at the fish ever. Here's a manta ray, you know, from the water world, or the ice, it was both. And then the really annoying seed shooting flowers. There's another one down there. Also, I remember this song. This song was pretty cool. It was a nice song, you know, kind of peaceful, all things considered. Getting shot at by really, really annoying. I hate those guys, man. I'm sick of them. I don't like them at all. Oh, wow. That was, pretty scary. I cannot believe I made that jump. That was a huge leap of faith. Pun very intended. That was a leap of faith. Oof. Alright. So barely making that jump. We got, how many jet? Oh, one. Right. I just remembered. What was that, the weird guy's name? The little piggy guy? Kumagoro. That's it. Oh, I also, from the you know, the voice lines that show up in the game, yeah, Kumagoro's little icon lights up. So it finally dawned on me that or is he a rabbit or like a bear? I can't tell. I don't know. Anyway, Kumagoro's the one that's talking and saying, you know, all the voice lines and whatnot. Oh, this jump though! Wow, that's oh hey, found the bonus stage. So I think with that we found every single bonus stage in every single world. Here we go, World 6's bonus stage. Of course, this one wasn't going to be very easy. I like how the smiley faces are there. They're almost like mocking you. Like, you're not going to get them all. Also, I love it. What happened there? Also, I love how it looks like the TV boss guy. You know, with the staticky sort of thing. I don't think that happens anymore on, you know, with TV. Ever since, you know, the switch to digital. Or, wait, no, I think it does. You know, the fuzzy... What's this, like a snow? That's what some people call it. I remember I used to look at it, and you know, when I was little, you know, Super Mario Bros. 3 had already come out, and if you recall Rocky wrenches, you know, when they would throw them, you could just barely see the wrenches flying across the screen. I remember looking at the static on the TV, and I could kind of see that. You know, I could kind of see the little wrenches spinning around in all that blacky whitey static. You just, Oh, that's not even remotely cool. Wow. Wow. The last balloon. Last second. Couldn't get it. That was very close. I think if I didn't derp up on that one balloon when I couldn't figure out what was going on, I think I tried to drop down onto one of the balloons and then it didn't pop. I just kind of bounced infinitely on it until I was like, oh wait, I'm not actually popping this. That's not okay. Well, regardless, we get Jet Pod 3. We are down to one more. I didn't quite tell what letter it was, but you know what? It doesn't really matter. So I can't remember if I read like the very last part of the reception. I remember the thing about, you know, I said, you know, Super Mario 64 was pretty much like a standard for the 3D platformer genre, and that Matt Casamassina of IGN rated it, or said that it was underrated. And also that Jumping Flash managed to produce a few sequels. I thought I was reading that wrong. Jumping Flash 2, which was, you know, the actual sequel to this game, released worldwide on PlayStation a year later, and two loose sequels, Robbit, Mon Dieu, on PlayStation, and Pocket Moo Moo, compatible for the Pocket Station, were released exclusively in Japan by Sugar and Rockets. This is always cool. I like this. The free time thing. Oh, I also noticed that in free time, it does show you on the minimap where everything that you've missed is, whether it be a jet pod or the exit. It will be a blinking orange box on the minimap. Very, very useful. Oh, also time extend. That's gonna give me extra bonus points at the end. It's a very interesting name for a company. Sugar and Rockets. I couldn't imagine naming a company that. They'd, you know, well, I mean, it's Japan, you know, they're pretty crazy there. Was that manta ray just pushing me? How rude. Well, at least he's not spitting seeds at me, that's cool. Also, I found out that what the Pocket Station was. I've never heard of that before. But apparently, it's pretty much like if anybody remembers the VMUs from Dreamcast. It was pretty much the same exact thing. And, I keep seeing that as Rabbit. Robbit, mon dieu. Spy. Is this mon dieu? J-Roddy. Good old filthy jar man. Alright, so now we move into World 6-2, which is actually a mini-boss! This is the Robbit clone, as I want to call it. It's it pretty much does it has the same functions as Robbit. It likes to jump around, and I believe it does shoot lasers. But unlike Robbit, it does this, where it can stand on top of one of this gladiator arena entrances, and a bunch of mini Robbit clones will jump out and try to they try to bop you good. And at this point, you cannot hit the clone Robbit. It's just not possible. So, you know, I mean, that pretty much differentiates the real one from the fake one, you know? Robbit would never stoop to such cheap tactics, you know? He would never have other robots, or, you know, whatever these things are, fight for him. He's a robot of conviction, damn it. And he will fight as one. Now, if you notice, it's very quiet, but as you hit the clone Robbit, oh no, he's jumping on me. The audience will actually boo you, which is surprising, you know, because they're this is all. I can't tell what those are. I think those are actually moo-moos, which I did explain are only shown in the Japanese version, where after you defeat one of the worlds, if I can find it, I can't find it. I'm looking for it. I'm looking not very closely, but I'm looking for it. Oh, it's above that. It said many of the game's full motion videos feature the moo-moos in an izakaya, humorously recounting their defeat at the hands of Robbit, which obviously I don't think anybody in a oh, okay, that's why. So an izakaya is a Japanese drinking establishment. Yeah, that really wouldn't fly so well with the English censors. Also, yeah, I'm kind of getting crushed by this clone Robbit. And if I could, yeah, there we go. So clone Robbit has a crazy charge attack. Oh my, he just exploded into pieces. All right. That was very close. That was very close, I must say. Yeah. Also, I believe after you get the first 100,000 points, you get a 1-up, but after that, you don't get anything. It's very depressing. And now we move on to the final stage. This is 6-3, and I think the giant head explains it all. We are about to fight Baron Aloha. This guy is very, very strange. Like I said, I thought the TV boss was very strange. This guy's in the running for being stranger. Now, he'll only attack if you're not jumping on his head. If you're above him, he will just continue to run around like a lunatic like this until you're actually on the ground or in front of him, which then he'll probably take on this provocative pose, and bullets will shoot out of his nipples trying to hit you, or he will just kind of do like another sort of wacky, crazy, like Super Sentai pose and shoot rockets out of his fingers. Yeah, that's just not appropriate at all. And for anybody that didn't know, when I kind of reference, Super Sentai, English-speaking fans will recognize it much clearer as Power Rangers. Yeah. At least that's what I kind of attribute it to. It kind of reminds me of the Ginyu Force in DBZ, with their, like, over-the-top poses. Well, I mean, not that. But, when he... But, I just always assumed that, like, their crazy poses were kind of like a parody of that, of the Power Rangers, and, like, the way that they just kind of pose. So, yeah, once you get him down to a certain amount of HP, he'll kind of lose most, what was that, like the torso of his suit? And then, wow, his attacks become a lot more erratic. And then as you damage him even further, if it could finally happen, and the rest of the suit will break away, leaving only his head to spin around and do this. I don't even know what's happening. I don't know if this actually, I mean, it must hurt you, but I didn't actually get hit by it, so that's why I'm not 100% sure. But it's really, really annoying to have to deal with. And also, I would suggest not using your fireworks, all of them, on the clone Robbit like I did, because as you saw, all I had was bullets to shoot at him. And that's it! Look at me hopping up and down. All happy. Like a crazy, like a UFC octagon, but it's got the crazy rainbow ropes on the edges. It's weird. And with that, we are done with World 6. So let's see what happens now.
You've only damaged my base slightly. Prepare yourself, Robbit. Now my minions are really ready for you. I, Baron Aloha, am invincible! You ain't done yet.
Oh boy. Yeah, I didn't like that part at all. That was probably the worst part of that. But the second worst part was the fact that we are not done. So in a very ghouls and goblins, super ghouls and ghosts type format, we now have to complete the game once again, only it will be a bit harder. So, like, when this happened, I just kind of stared there and I was like, oh dear God, this is not happening. I was just, oh, hello, bonus stage is already there. And I thought to myself, oh, this is horrible. Like, seriously, what? Oh, okay. Yeah, I got really confused there. Yeah, at the time as well, because I was like, where are all the balloons? I'm staring off into nothingness, and there's nothing there, but there they are. I was like, yeah, no, this is horrible. I don't want to have to do it all over again. Like, I figured that what was going to happen was that I was just going to do the same thing as I did with Super Ghouls and Ghosts, and just cut out, like, the entirety of me, like, redoing the game. Because with that game, there was really nothing different other than, like, there was more enemies being spawned. But in this, I felt like it was justifiable to make it actually count for, more video and more playthrough. Because, like, my entire argument for that is that the game, all of the stages pretty much change. Like, they do become more difficult, but mostly because the placement of the blocks and stuff are changed around. And yeah, I'm not, wow, that was terrible. Not even close. Yeah, I realized why I screwed up there. I kind of didn't take care of the balloons on the top first. So yeah, as you can see, I was a little bit confused. Looking around, I was like, this is not wow I remember it being. But yeah, this is nutty, wacky, different. So yeah, and yeah, now we got these extra Baron Aloha blimps just kind of hanging out there. I would love to like, what are the reasons for those blimps there? Like, what, like, who came out of them or who's going in them? You know, I mean, like, what is this place exactly? Is this like a home base for somebody? Is this kind of like, maybe this is like where a kingdom is or something? You know, because it came off the planet. What was it called? The crater planet? Yeah, the crater planet's weird. Like, literally, all the places in the world are the stages that we're going to. And as you can see, I'm having a little bit of trouble here. I don't know what happened, but for some reason, I'm just literally unable to get on top of this spire. Because, like, I really, really wanted there to be, you know, some sort of way for me to jump and get this jet pod, and I realized, oh, I could have just used this platform floating over here the whole time. Ooh-wee. I love those things. Wee. But yeah, I mean, like, the crater planet, literally, like, all the stages that we're seeing is, like, the crater planet. So, aside from that, it looks like there's literally nothing else happening on that planet except for what we're seeing in the stages. So it's like a barren wasteland, aside from, you know, all of this stuff. And it's like, those are all in the craters. And it's weird. I don't really get it. And so with that, we're done. So we're deep into the extra levels of the game. As we move on to complete the game once again, join me in part 5, where we'll be moving on to more of Extra World 1. See you all next time.